The 21st century has witnessed a dramatic shift in the global landscape. While the established powers of the West retain significant influence, a new wave of economic dynamism is surging from the East. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, a regional bloc comprising 10 member states, is at the forefront of this transformation. Often described as an economic powerhouse, ASEAN boasts impressive economic growth rates, a youthful and growing population, and a strategic geographical location. As Europe grapples with internal challenges and a slowing economy, a critical question emerges. Could ASEAN be poised to outshine Europe in the years to come? In today's video, we'll dive into the heart of the ASEAN revolution, a phenomenon characterized by the region's rapid economic rise and growing political influence. By examining both the strengths and weaknesses of ASEAN, we can begin to understand its potential to reshape the global order and, ultimately, answer the provocative question of whether it can eclipse the established power of Europe. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, established in 1967, primarily aimed to ensure security among its founding members: Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Over time, ASEAN expanded its membership, doubling in size. Remarkably, it not only weathered the storms of the Asian financial crisis in 1997 and the global economic downturn in 2008, but also emerged as the world's sixth largest economy. Particularly impressive is how this economic growth has uplifted countless lives, lifting many out of poverty across the region. ASEAN's overarching objective is to foster stability, both politically and economically, in Southeast Asia. Initially, the region's diverse cultures, languages, and political systems posed significant challenges to collaboration. However, ASEAN has made notable strides in regional cooperation. Initiatives such as the ASEAN Free Trade Area and other collaborative efforts in economics and politics underscore ASEAN's commitment to fostering unity and prosperity among its member states. Similarly, back in 1951, a brilliant idea called European integration began to take shape. It all started with the creation of the European Coal and Steel Community. This clever plan aimed to bring European countries closer together economically and prevent any more big fights between them. The first step led to something even bigger in 1957, the European Economic Community. And guess what? That eventually turned into what we now call the European Union. With a bunch of agreements and treaties, the EU made a super cool thing called a unified market. They also came up with a customs union and something called the Eurozone, where everyone uses the same money. Now people are wondering, can ASEAN, a group of Southeast Asian countries, become as awesome as the European Union and become a big deal on the world stage? Asia, especially with China and India leading the way, is becoming a really strong economic force. But don't forget about the importance of Southeast Asian countries, represented by ASEAN. They might just surprise everyone and become the next big thing. Back in 1991, the ASEAN gang was just a tiny piece of the whole world's economy, only chipping in at about 1.7%. But fast forward to today, and that piece has doubled, now sitting at 3.5%, or a staggering 6.1% when we consider how much stuff people can buy with their money. During that same time, more people decided to call ASEAN home, going from 8.3% of the global population to 8.6%. Right now, approximately 666 million people live in ASEAN countries, and they've become the fifth biggest global economy, with a wallet-busting GDP of around $10.2 trillion in 2022. Despite these big numbers, the European Union still takes the cake when it comes to economic size. In 2022, all the European nations combined to make a staggering $16.6 trillion. The euro, Europe's shared money, is the world's second most used currency after the US dollar. But ASEAN doesn't have a currency they all share like that. When it comes to growing their economies, Europe seems to be hitting the brakes. Over the last 10 years, their money-making rate ranged from a slow 1% to a not-too-fast 3.5%. On the flip side, the gang in ASEAN has been doing some serious hustling, with their average money growing rate ranging from 3% to a zippy 6%. In 2015, during the World Economic Forum, Malaysia's Minister of International Trade and Industry made a prediction. They foresaw that within the next 10 to 15 years, ASEAN would outperform the European Union. This forecast was based on the observation that ASEAN's economy was growing at an average rate of about 5% per year, while the EU's growth rate was less than 2.5%. This indicated that it was only a matter of time before ASEAN surpassed the EU in economic terms. Indeed, ASEAN's significance has been steadily increasing, as evidenced by its achievement of becoming China's top trading partner in the first quarter of 2020. This accomplishment outshone both the EU and the United States. During this period, trade between ASEAN and China surged by 6% compared to the previous year, reaching approximately $130 billion. This accounted for roughly 15% of China's total trading activity. China's quest for new trade allies amid trade conflicts further solidified ASEAN's position. However, it's important to note that this doesn't mean Europe's economy will remain stagnant or that ASEAN's progress is assured. Experts anticipate that once the effects of the pandemic subside, the EU will regain its status as China's primary trading partner. Furthermore, Southeast Asia faces numerous challenges and issues as it strives to emulate Europe's journey. Despite the remarkable economic growth and regional influence of ASEAN, the future trajectory of the global economic landscape remains uncertain. Both regions encounter unique opportunities and obstacles as they navigate their respective paths. Consider this: ASEAN comprises diverse countries, each with its own distinctive characteristics. For instance, Indonesia, a member of the G20, accounts for nearly 40% of the region's economy, whereas Myanmar is still in the process of developing its institutions after years of isolation. There's a significant disparity in the GDP per capita among ASEAN countries. For instance, Singapore's GDP per capita is more than 30 times higher than that of Laos and over 50 times higher than that of Cambodia and Myanmar. Additionally, ASEAN nations encompass diverse languages, cultures, and religions, resulting in varied preferences and sentiments among their populations. Consequently, a one-size-fits-all approach isn't feasible for addressing the needs of these countries. Unlike the European Union, which utilizes a common currency, the euro, across many member states, ASEAN does not have a unified currency. Each ASEAN country retains control over its own currency. Moreover, the organizational structures and functions of ASEAN and the EU differ significantly. While the EU operates as a large entity where member states share authority in certain areas, such as possessing a single parliament, a unified court system, a common currency, and a consolidated foreign service, ASEAN functions as a smaller group where individual countries primarily manage their own affairs. The ASEAN Secretariat, comprising fewer than 400 personnel, pales in comparison to the EU's workforce of over 23,000 individuals. This disparity underscores the difference in scale and complexity between the two organizations. Also, the budget of ASEAN is quite small, totaling around $35 million. In contrast, the EU boasts a much larger budget, estimated at about 170 billion euros. The EU excels in political cooperation, adhering to unified rules and strategies. However, ASEAN prefers not to intervene extensively in each other's affairs, promoting stability but potentially hindering collective problem-solving efforts for major issues. Despite its diversity, ASEAN presents growth opportunities. However, navigating these disparities poses challenges. As ASEAN moves towards closer integration and addresses these differences, it's essential for investors and planners to consider the unique circumstances of each member country to facilitate effective collaboration. Experts anticipate that Asia's economic growth will outpace that of the US and Europe, largely due to its resilience to certain economic fluctuations. They predict a positive trajectory for China's economic performance in the near future. Additionally, major countries like India, Indonesia, and Japan are experiencing robust growth. Given this promising outlook for Southeast Asia, some foresee ASEAN emerging as a formidable economic force. Projections suggest that ASEAN could rank as the world's fourth largest economy by 2050, following China, India, and the US. ASEAN boasts a sizable youth population, which bodes well for economic growth. More than 380 million individuals are under 35 years old, constituting approximately 58% of the total population. Moreover, ASEAN ranks third globally in terms of its working-age population, trailing behind only China and India. This demographic trend is expected to contribute to the expansion of the middle class, fostering economic prosperity. Furthermore, the ongoing urbanization trend with more people migrating to cities plays a pivotal role in driving this growth trajectory. But ASEAN faces a multitude of challenges as it strives for economic growth and regional integration. One significant hurdle is the disparity among member countries in terms of economic development, infrastructure, and governance. For instance, while Singapore boasts advanced infrastructure and a highly skilled workforce, other member states such as Laos and Cambodia struggle with limited infrastructure and lower levels of human capital. This divergence complicates efforts to achieve cohesive economic policies and initiatives within ASEAN. ASEAN also grapples with issues related to political stability and human rights. Several member states have faced criticism for authoritarian governance and human rights abuses. For example, Myanmar has drawn international condemnation for its military coup in 2021 and subsequent crackdown on pro-democracy activists. Such political turmoil undermines ASEAN's credibility and hampers efforts towards deeper regional integration. Plus, ASEAN confronts environmental challenges, including deforestation, pollution, and climate change. Rapid industrialization and urbanization in countries like Indonesia and Vietnam have led to environmental degradation, threatening biodiversity, and exacerbating climate-related risks. For instance, the annual haze caused by forest fires in Indonesia poses health hazards to millions of people in the region, highlighting the need for concerted efforts to address environmental sustainability. Similarly, the European Union grapples with its own set of challenges, despite its achievements in political and economic integration. One prominent issue is the economic fallout from the Brexit referendum, which saw the United Kingdom's decision to leave the EU in 2016. The ensuing uncertainty and trade disruptions have contributed to economic slowdowns in both the UK and the EU, affecting businesses and consumers alike. Additionally, demographic challenges pose significant concerns for the EU, particularly in countries like Germany and Italy, where aging populations and low birth rates threaten long-term economic sustainability. The increasing dependency ratio, with fewer working-age individuals supporting a growing elderly population, strains social welfare systems and raises concerns about future economic growth and productivity. Europe has also grappled with migration challenges, particularly during the migrant crisis of 2015, when a surge in asylum seekers from conflict-affected regions in the Middle East and North Africa overwhelmed EU member states. The influx of migrants strained resources and sparked political tensions among member states, highlighting the need for a coordinated and comprehensive approach to migration management. Becoming as significant as the EU is a big goal for ASEAN, but it's definitely achievable. The EU is powerful because its members work closely together, have a large economy, and follow shared rules. However, ASEAN also has its strengths and potential to make a greater impact in the future. Asia's influence is growing, and ASEAN plays a major role in that. But what do you think? Do you think ASEAN could surpass the EU in importance someday? Is the future going to revolve around Asia? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates. And do watch our video on the UK's economic crisis.